A good day. Welcome to another topic on mathematics. Today we want to talk about the squares, cubes, cube root, square root and cube root. Let's start with square. How do you write a square? You write it like this and you read as a squared, or you can read it as a to the power. You can read it as a to the power of 2. Read it as a squared or a to the power of 2. But what does that mean if we say a squared? A squared, it means multiply a by itself 2 times. So it means I'm going to say a times a. It means multiply a by itself 2 times. And most people have got a common mistake of saying a squared is equal to a times 2, which is very, very wrong. It's a what? Common mistake. It doesn't mean that. It means multiply a by itself 2 times. Then I'm going to do the squares of natural numbers until 10. A squared, 1 squared is equal to 1 times 1, which is equals to 1. 2 squared is equals to 2 times 2, which is equals to 4. And 3 squared, I'm going to be skipping that stage. 3 squared is equals to 3 times 3, 9. 4 squared, which gives me what? 16. 5 squared, which gives you what? 25. And 6 squared, which gives you 36. And 7 squared, 49. 8 squared, 64. 9 squared, 81. And 10 squared is equals to 100. So these are the squares of natural numbers. Now let's do example using a square. E.g., I'll do number 1 and number 2 only for square. Given minus 4 squared and minus 4 squared. These two things, they are not the same. With the first one, the minus is being affected by the square. The square is also affecting the minus, but with the second one, only 4 is being affected by the square. So in the first one, we are saying minus 4 is being squared. So it means I need to multiply minus 4 by itself 2 times, which gives you is equals to minus 4 times minus 4, because I am multiplying minus 4 2 times, which is equals to a minus multiplied by a minus is a positive. 4 times 4, which is 16. So this gives you 16. And the second one is minus 4 to the power of 2, or minus 4 squared. In this one, the minus is not being affected by a square. So you need to bring it down as it is, because I'm not squaring the minus. What I am squaring here is only 4. So you go on and say 4 times 4, because 4 squared, it's 4 times 4, which is equals to a negative multiplied by a positive, it's a minus. 4 times 4, it's 16. That is what? That is your answer. Can you see the difference between bracket minus 4 squared and minus 4 squared? That is the difference. Now let's talk about the cubes. Cube. How do you write a cube? You will say a cubed. You read this as a cubed, or a to the power of 3. And what does that mean? Similarly to what we did with the first one, a to the power of 3, it means multiply a by itself how many times? 3 times. So it's equals to a times a times a is equals to a times a times a. I'm going to do this cube of natural number, maybe until 5. A to the power of 3 or a cubed is 1 to the power of 3 or is equals to 1 times 1 times 1, which is equals to 1. And 2 to the power of 3 is equals to 2 times 2 times 2, which is equals to 8, because 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is equals to 8. And 3 to the power of 3 is equals to 3 times 3 times 3, which is equals to 27. And 4 to the power of 3 is equals to 4 times 4 times 4, which is equals to 64. Then 5 to the power of 3 is equals to 5 times 5 times 5, which is equals to 125. In the other one, you can do it on your own. Now let's do an example using the cubed. E.g., I'm going to say minus 2 minus 4. I'm going to do to the power of 3. And example number 2, this is 1 minus 4 cubed. With the first one, minus 4 is being raised to the power of 3. Both a negative and 4, they are being raised to the power of what? Minus 3, the power of 3. So we are saying multiply minus 4 by itself 3 times, which is equals to minus 4 multiplied by minus 4 multiplied by minus 4, which is equals to a minus multiplied by a minus is a positive. A positive multiplied by a minus is a negative. So your answer is negative. 4 times 4, 16. 16 times 4, which is equals to 64. So the answer is 64. And the second one, minus 4 to the power of 3. In this one, the minus is not being raised to the power of minus 3. So you bring it down. Then 4 to the power of 4 to the power of 3 is 4 times 4 times 4, which is equals to minus 64. That is, can you see bracket minus 4 cubed and minus 4 to the power of 3, both of them, they give you minus. Check this, we are going to use it later. Both minus 4 to the power of 3 and minus 4 to the power of 3 and bracket minus 4 to the power of 3, both of them are giving you negative. We are going to use it when we are doing the cube root. Then the square root. Square root. And the sign for square root is this one. You read as square root. You read this as square root. But what does that mean when we are saying a square root of something? I'm going to use a number in this one, e.g. the square root of 4 is equals to 2. But where am I getting that 2? The square root of 4 is equals to 2. Even if you use a calculator, you will see the square root of 4 is equals to 2. But how? Where is the 2 coming from? When we are looking for a square root of a number, we are looking for, when we are saying the square root of 4, we are looking for a number so that when I multiply that number by itself 2 times, I need to get what is inside. So if you say 2 times 2, you get 4. So I'm looking for a number so that when I multiply that number by itself 2 times, I get what? I get 4. So the square root of 4 is 2. And what is the square root of 25? You are looking for a number so that when you multiply that number by itself 2 times, you get 25. And that number is 5. 5 times 5 is equals to what? Is equals to 5. So going back to the square, there is a relationship between a square and the square root. These are the squares. We said 1 squared is equals to 1. But if you say square root of 1, you will get 1. Because we are looking for a number So that when you multiply that number by itself, you get this one. And the square root of 4 is equals to 2. So the square root of 9 is equals to 3. The square root of 16 is equals to 4. The square root of 25 is equals to 5. The square root of 36 is equals to 6, and so on and so on. So there is a relationship between a square and a square root. Now, what is a square root of a negative number? What is a square root of a negative number? For a negative number, the square root of negative number, for example, -4, there is no answer. Because remember, there is no number. If I say, for example, 2 times 2, I get 4. And if I say -2 times -2, a minus and a minus is a what? It's a plus. I still get 4. Like what we did here when we're doing the square. Can you see a -4? A -4 multiplied by a -4, I get 16. So there is no number that I can multiply by itself to get a negative number. At this stage, we don't have an answer. At this stage, you will have an answer maybe when you carry on with maths, but for now, there is no answer. So there is no answer for a negative square. Now let's move on to the last one. This cube root. Cube root. The sign. You read is cube root of, let's put a, the cube root of a. You read this is the cube root of a. But what does that mean? When you say the cube root of 8, we are looking for a number so that when I multiply by itself, how many times? 3 times I get 8. So that number is 2, because when you say 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 times 2, I get what? I get 8. So let's go back to the cube root, to the squares, I mean. So the cube root of 1, the cube root of 1 is 1. The cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of 27 is 3. And the cube root of 64 is 4. The cube root of 125 is 5. Because if we say 5 times 5 times 5, 3 times we get 125. Now let's do examples. H. I am going to do the cube root of -8 and the cube root of 8. That is what I'm going to do. The cube root of -8 and the cube root of 8. Sorry, there must be 8 here. And we said the cube root of 8 is 2, because it means we want a number so that when I multiply that number by itself 3 times, I get 8. If you say 2 times 2, you get 4. 4 times 2, you get 8. But what about, we said there is no square root of a negative number. What about the cube root of a negative number? The cube root of a negative number we have is going to be -2. Is shown, like I said here, we are going to need this later. Can you see? If you multiply -4 here 3 times, you get minus. So it means the cube root of -4 is -3. The cube root of -4, the cube root of -64 is -4. So it means we have the cube root of a negative number. But what we don't have is the square root of a what? Of a negative number. You can't find the square root of a negative number, but the cube root, we have the cube root of a what? Of a negative number. Now let's do examples using all the 4 operations. Let's do examples using the 4 operation, e.g. using the 4 operation. Where's my work? Okay, e.g. what is minus 4 squared? Minus 4 squared is equals to minus 4 multiplied by minus 4, because I'm squaring minus 4, which is equals to 16. Example number 2. What is minus 2 squared plus minus 3 cubed? In the first one, only 2 is being squared, so you bring down 2. Then only 2 is being squared, so you bring down minus. So which is supposed to be 2 times 2, because 2 squared means 2 times 2. But I'm not squaring minus 2, I am squaring only 2. Minus is not being affected by the square, so you bring it down, then you square the 2. Plus, what is minus 3 to the power of 3? Minus 3 to the power of 3, it means minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3. The minus is being squared because it's what is inside the bracket, which is equals to, this one gives me minus 4 plus minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3. It gives you what? Minus 27. And what is minus 4? Which is going to be minus 4 minus 27. Because a plus and a minus is a what? It's a minus, which is equals to minus 31, which is equals to minus 31. And number 3, the last one. Number 3, the cube root of minus 27. The cube root of minus 27 minus the square root of 36. The cube root of minus 27 is equals to, we are looking for a number, so that when I multiply that number by itself 3 times, I get minus 27. The cube root of minus 27 is minus 3. And what is minus square root of 36? There is a minus there, so I put a minus down. What is the square root of 36? It's 6. And then, what is minus 3? Times, what is minus 3 minus 6 is minus 9. And we are done with today's lesson. Then the activity, the homework exercise for you. Where's the exercise here? Back. Is it this one? Not this one. How do I go back? Okay, let me leave it. That's not the exercise. I think this one. Yes. I don't think you can see this clear. These are the answers. It looks like I don't have the page. There is the activity. Thank you. There's the activity. You pause the video as always. You pause the video. You work out through the exercise. Then after, when you are done, here are your answers. There's the answers. You pause the video again, then you mark your exercise. Thank you for watching and enjoy your day.